GM, we are live. No countdown today. We're hopping right into it. Greg, GM, Candles, and the boys. Good morning to you, Greg. Thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. Appreciate you, as always. BBM DB launched a really cool tool that overviews your whole portfolio. And I think it is so cool and so popular that it's actually currently down. But it really lets you at a glance look at all of your advance rates across tournament. Found some cool, surprising stuff on mine. Apparently the Husky 2 is where it's at. Somehow I'm advancing 8 out of 10 Husky 2 teams. Don't really know why, but that seems nice because I think that was a $40 buy-in. So we take that. But I wanted to bring it up, but now it's not loading. So maybe that's just the universe telling us to get right on into it. Now, I have done a couple of Dawg Bowls. I've done a couple Dawg Bowls. By a couple, I mean about 4. And we're waiting for one. So let's start the stream with a Dawg Bowl. We're really gonna hop right into this. We'll hop right into this right away. And the ADPs are slowly adjusting to where they ought to be because they get ported over from the 12-person playbooks, which have super low liquidity, very few rooms. Things are really wonky in there. You see quarterbacks in the first few drafts, the top, the first round, the ADP was like half quarterbacks, which created a couple of weird dynamics. One, the Dawg Bowls can fill slowly, so you had some people autoing quarterback. I had one this morning where someone took clearly seemed like an auto draft pick, like Justin Fields at 15. I think that's too early. I think even if we know Fields is starting, that feels highly aggressive. At least it does to me. So we've seen quarterbacks get pushed up. Those ADPs are wrong. And I think we're seeing like a few of these later running backs are also erroneous. I don't think Vidal at 40 is right. After him, the running backs go literally off a cliff. You get to Kamara, who no one really wants to play and is losing work. Tony Pollard is not great with Spears back and wasn't even good before. You get Ramondre, that you get the KC backs, and it's like, maybe if we get word Chuba plays, then maybe Chuba super late is clickable. But obviously right now it's Dowdle country, and Dowdle is here with an ADP of about 11. So it's just, I think some of these ADPs are still slowly settling to where they are, but we'll see if we can't take advantage of some stuff. So appreciate y'all coming in, hanging out. Greg says stay off the website till I have stuff to feel better about. Yeah. I mean, I could pick nits and find some bad stuff. My big board's kind of pathetic. I mean, top 3 advance, and I think I'm advancing 25 and 150. So that's bad. I use that contest to take a ton of late round running backs, and some of whom are literally not in the NFL, like 25% Raheem Sanders, who's, like the 4th string running back in Cleveland, and Damian Martinez, who I remember getting upset getting sniped on Damian Martinez, and I don't even know if he's on a practice squad currently. Truly, like he's done. And so, I have large bags of dead teams, but I think some of the teams that I have are live are actually like really good because we were swinging on lots of guys. So Mike Robb noting, yes, the Husky Hammer. That's what you're saying. The new flagship contest indeed is the Husky. Mike, thanks for coming in. Joel, GM to you. Likewise, Jake, thanks for coming in. I see you, Joel, in there at the 9. I'll go over who's in the room because we got a pretty good room. Greg says, what's mathematical average for advance rate? What do players with more experience expect? So that is good you ask that. Most contests advance rate, like BBM, is like 16.7% if 2 out of 12 advance. So it's whatever 2 out of 12 is. Some other contests are top 3 advance, like the big board, which is going to mean 3 out of. Sorry, I'm on the clock here. I'm just going to take Rico Dowdle. We're going to assume that that continues. I don't think I want to do anything different from that. After I make my next pick, we can kind of review things, because I feel like Mahomes at 7, I don't think that's right. I think that's too aggressive with how fast some of the other position players are going to fall off here. And then there's ones where the top 4 advance. There's a few contests where the top 4 advance, like the I'm trying to think which ones do the top 4 advance. Is it the little board? Or the bigger board? The bigger board is top 4, so you get 4 out of 12. So that's going to be 33%. So basically, yeah, like whatever percentage of the however many people would advance divided by the amount of people in the pods. Craig GM Chad, hey, good morning to you. Terrence reminding me that Dowdle won't have a pancake matchup this week. That is true. That is true. So we got Krosky Merritt or we got Cam Scatabo. Guys, you know what's happening here. You know what's happening here. Krosky Merritt, I didn't get to stay up for the full game. It doesn't look like he had a fantastic game. He fumbled. Dallas obviously gave up 10,000 yards to Rico Dowdle, so maybe Krosky Merritt is the better play. It's just that backfield's in such flux all the time. The usage can be a little squirrely, whereas I feel like with Scatabo, we know what we're going to get. Denver, tough matchup. Jets, kind of a tougher matchup. So we've got 2 running backs with tough matchups, but I think on this slate, if you look at how the teams are going to break down, that's not going to be there's not a lot of comfortable clicks. There's not a ton of comfortable clicks after the start of the board. So we've got G for Gumby. G for Gumby, good dude. He hangs out in Badge Bros chat. He streams, sharp dude. G for Gumby in at the 3. He gets A-Chain there. Mathology. Mathology's awesome. He does some content with Neil Orfield on his channels. Absolutely tune into those shows when Mathology goes live. Mathology in at the 5 hole. He's got Saquon there. Our friend, Mr. Worth, he goes Judkins, Pickens, and I go Dowdle, Scatabo. So not too bad. Not too bad of a start here. Not too bad of a start here, but scrounging in the depths of running back is a little tough. DJ Moore apparently left the game in an ambulance. No one's quite sure what happened. Some various Twitter doctors have suggested perhaps a kidney, maybe a lung, but apparently he was held overnight. They were calling it precautionary. The word precautionary now scares me more than anything after Joe Mixon's precautionary walking boot. I think the word precautionary has lost all meaning to me, but that's the latest. I don't think that was really impinging on Odunze too much, but just something to note. I'm pretty high on Odunze. For me, there's a lot of uncertainty with Dallas. Is Lamb going to play? Is he not this week? We're going to get more color tomorrow as far as if he's practicing. If he is, I think it's correct to have Lamb over Pickens, but he also could end up being a decoy. He could have limited snaps, and Pickens has been fantastic, and Washington's defense is not very good. It's not very good. So I don't know that Pickens really even would fall that much, considering if you look at the rest of the board, like Debo, not great last night. Nice matchup, but struggled. Possibility that McLaurin comes back. It's a very thin slate. The slate gets very thin very fast. We have DeAndre Swift going up pick 28, Jordan Mason pick 27. Like it's I'm surprised of anyone that no one's taken Vidal for the Chargers, but even there, you do have the risk of them adding somebody. They did sign Naheem Hines. He could get more work, because he just joined the team middle of the week. Obviously, running well against the Dolphins. We saw, again, going back to Dowdle. Dowdle absolutely smoked the Dolphins. Vidal ran for I think like 130 yards on like 13 carries or something. Like Dolphins defense is Swiss cheese. So we will see what happens over there. But we are coming up on the clock. So we've got some choices to make here. I think I like Steph Diggs and a potential bounce back against a bad defense. QJ is nice if he plays. The hamstring stuff does worry me. Now, the fact that he practiced, he was limited, and then questionable and not played lends me to suggest it's not super severe, but they could be cautious with him. I mean, hamstring injuries can be really bad and can be so recurrent that maybe we do that. It looks like somebody took Drake May. A-Watts took Drake May over there. So Drake May off the board. I mean, part of me almost feels like taking Tet and then just ganging up on the Jets. The Jets defense is not that bad, though. There's some late tight ends I don't mind. But with that said, I mean, part of me thinks I just like lock up Tucker Kraft here. Because again, the flow chart says play tight ends against Arizona. Tight end is very deep in the Dawg Bowl. So I think in most of my Dawg Bowls, I'm probably going to push tight ends to the end of the board. But in this particular draft, I think I'm going to take tight end, and we'll see if we can't dredge up some late round value in wide receiver here. So that was my thought process there. I certainly understand taking one of those players. I certainly don't think it would be terrible had I taken QJ and played the Q tag game. I think if he plays, he's apt to rise. He's apt to rise a little bit. I think we would be more comfortable taking him probably at least ahead of Olave, probably McLaurin. You know, people are so down on AJ Brown that he's a tough click for a lot of people, but he's also a guy that can break slates. So I'm sure in these mid rounds I'll end up with plenty of Brown. Tieran says Bo Nix has been getting a pass because Fields was historically bad. He's been atrocious. Yeah, I mean, you know, we've seen second-year quarterbacks have a touch of regression, and maybe we're seeing that a little bit with Nix. He has not been great. I mean, I try to give the players the benefit of the doubt on these international games just because they're so weird, like playing in a weird time zone, you know, some people just don't do as well with travel. I mean, I don't think the Jets defense is that bad. Again, I saw like a weird stat, like they're like the only team that like hadn't generated a turnover going into last week. Like, but I think there was like 6 fumbles. They just didn't recover any. Like sometimes these like weird fluky stuff can kind of mask that a defense is like not wholly inept. Also, I think they're unable to move the ball on offense. They're going to be put in a lot more bad spots than other teams. So I don't think the unit itself is terrible. So a little bit of a, to me, kind of a, you know, not a bad, as I, you know, obviously you may note like, well, I took Rico Dowdle to play against them. But I think some of that is, you know, whether it's Tyrod or Fields there, I think the Jets, I mean, Carolina's probably going to get at least a couple short fields. I think there's going to be opportunity for Dowdle there if Chuba misses again. I do love that. So, but yeah, I mean, Bo Nix definitely not getting a lot of scrutiny. Some of that I also think is market related. Like the media doesn't pile on to Denver Broncos quarterbacks the same way they will like a New York team. I think we've seen that before. Some of those teams out west can, you know, they don't get it as hard from some of the legacy media stuff. But yeah, even in fantasy circles, I've heard a little bit of grumblings about people complaining about Knicks. Let's see if Buster's Boys takes Knicks here. I guess Herbert's there. I'd be surprised if Buster's Boy doesn't take Herbert there. That feels pretty nice to me. A Jacobs, Ladd, Sutton, Devonta, and he takes Fields. So he says, forget that. I'm going to take the plunge on Justin Fields at pick 50. I mean, I'll never complain about someone taking Justin Fields just because he can be such a fantasy monster. I didn't hear anything about him getting benched thus far, so it sounds like he's got at least another game, unless they've just been tight-lipped about the situation. So you see one drafter going double tight end. Don't do this in Dawg Bowls. This is just too cute. I really think this is a mistake. This guy took Daniel Jones, which probably made more sense for Yeti. It's a little unfortunate. This guy ends up going double tight end and then unstacked Herbert. We'll see what Mythology does. Maybe he wanted Herbert because he took Keenan Allen. So this whole bunch of knock-on effects happening here. Jake says the Underdog news blurb says he's still the starter. Okay, yeah, I hadn't heard anything otherwise, so that makes sense. That makes sense to me. All right, let's see what Mr. Worth does here, and then we are going to be on the clock ourselves. We're on the clock ourselves. All right, so now will be the time for another wide receiver and or quarterback here. Let's see what J-Dubs does. He takes Jordan Love, who I wanted because I was going to take Golden and then Love. So that's mildly annoying because that was the plan, but we did not get home on that. And now we're scrolling for a wide receiver. Who do we want? I don't mind Shaheed. You know what? I'll take a Jerry Jeudy against the Dolphins share. He had a little bit of a down game, but Pittsburgh can be kind of tough. So we'll take Jeudy. And then, then the question is, do we want Dart and Scatabo, Nix and Scatabo, or some third option here? Let's see. Or, I mean, I don't think I need to do Dylan Gabriel. I don't hate Dylan Gabriel on like DraftKings because he's super cheap. He's like 4,400 and the Dolphins defense is terrible. I think there's a little more upside in potentially playing Knicks. Dart and Scatabo feel a little bit like Saquon and Saquon and Hurts in a way where they're kind of negatively correlated. So let's buy a Knicks bounce back. We'll take him unstacked. That's fine. That was a little unfortunate. This team really would have felt nice with Love, Golden, and Kraft. But J-Dubs, he gets Love and Kraft. That's okay. Terrence noting Taysom Hill week. I'm loading up. Yeah, it could be. There's some good late tight ends in here. No worries. No worries, Joel. I just I had gotten close to something I wanted to build, and now I don't get it. So our team ends up being Dowdle, Scatabo, Diggs, Kraft, Jeudy, and Nix. Let's see what other folks do. J-Dubs, he goes Judkins, Pickens, Vidal, Kelsey, Love, and Golden. That makes sense. We'll take a look at what the other folks do. Mythology, we're going to make a prediction that this is a Tua team because he has Waddle and Waller. But, there's only one quarterback left, so I think he's either going to do that or just take an unstacked Jackson Dart is kind of the way I predict he'll end his team there, but we'll see. We will see. All right, Lee wants to clock, and then let's see what G for Gumby. He's got A-Chain, McBride, Mason, Pittman, Jones. Oh, so I missed that that he had Pittman there. So that makes a ton of sense for G for Gumby. He needs another wide receiver. So Mythology does take Tua. He double stacks Tua. He's going to be taking a running wide receiver. Let's see. I mean, Shaheed to me is... Oh, Shaheed already went over here. So let's see what G for Gumby does. He's a good player. So I'm curious as to who one of his wide receiver scrolls is. He winds the clock. He goes Jacoby Myers. All right. So we going back to the well. Going back to the well there. Mason Taylor, last tight end off the board. I think that's fine. And A. Watts, this guy, he chases the booty steam as Mr. Irrelevant in the draft. All right. I'm going to update the timestamps and then we'll hop into something else. So just give me 1 second to update these. If this ever loads on my end, which of course it's not. Why is this not loading? All right, we're gonna update the timestamps later because I'm evidently having problems all over the place here. But all right, scintillating stuff here. All right, let me share my let's look at the user portfolio. So this is new on BBMDB, and this is so cool because it shows you your advance rates across everything. So theoretically, of all the teams I drafted, I should be advancing 228.9 teams for 20.68%. That's going to be that's going to take into account the different advance rates across some tournaments. As you see, the big board should have a higher advance rate than Best Ball Mania. The base advance rate, 2 out of 12 is 16.7. Big board is 3 out of 12, which is 25%. So as we see, it unfortunately puts the big board first, which things are not going super well. We got only 22 out of 150 for 14%. But BBM going better. We got 30 teams going through now. Obviously, the Badge Bros Brawl going very well with 38 teams 38% expected to get 16%. And then some random contests are going really well, like the Chihuahua, 10 of 22, the Husky 2, 8 of 10, the regular Husky 4 of 9. I'm expected to be advancing 2 Husky teams, and somehow I'm advancing 8 of them. That seems a little crazy. And then of course the flock contests are the flock contests. You have to win your pod. You have to get first place, so it's a little tougher. I think the only flock contest I'm advancing is the flock 7 last I checked. So really cool feature. You really can see what some of your favorite players, your favorite, content creators or friends are advancing, what they're expected to be doing. So that is a really fun feature. The little Dalmatians are funny because these are ones I autoed with ranks, and the little Dalmatian 1 I maxed, and my ranks were pretty bad. I'm advancing pretty much exactly what you'd expect. But I have Shadur Sanders on some teams because I didn't have the quarterbacks ranked high enough. And then the little Dalmatian 2, I went back and did better, and we're currently advancing 41% of that one. But it filled before I could max it because I was doing batches of 10. So anyway, fun feature. Definitely check out how you're doing. Check out how your friends are doing. I think it's really cool that we're lucky enough that Mr. Donovan does that. And I'll give the same plug that Davis did, because there's this little coffee cup at the bottom. You can't see it because of my banner. That little coffee cup at the bottom. You can send him a dono. Keep the lights on because it's not free to run these kind of websites, and he truly does it as as service for all of us. So my advance rate was not updated after last night. I think it actually got improved in most of these. So let me see if I can now update my timestamp. And if you can, please like and subscribe. That would help. We just hit 250 last night. Big milestone. Really happy. Really appreciate all of your support. It has been awesome. And thank you all for doing that, for coming in, hanging out, hitting the like, hitting the sub. It means so much to me to be able to stream these in the mornings with all of you. So let's hop into a main BR. And we're waiting for 4. So if anyone wants to get in, please feel free. Please feel free. I think my overall advance rates are probably going to come down a little because I am super duper light on Rashi Rice. I sort of made an early stand. I didn't think we were taking the I just thought he was overpriced. I really thought he was priced where he shouldn't be. Then the suspension came down that he was going to be suspended during the playoffs, and his price cratered. And then when it turned out to be a 6-game suspension, it remained palatable, but I still stood fast. I wish I'd been taking some of them there. I mean, to be honest, I felt like I had kind of already missed the best prices on him and was like, well, what's it going to do for me to get from 0% to 4% if I kind of take him at a normal rate? or if I want to get above like 3-4%, I'd have to have been taking him aggressively, a player I was kind of out on. So I just said, all right, I'm just going to eat this stand. That was a little short-sighted. It was a little bit of being kind of like mentally weak, if you will. Like I was just like, what do I need like 6 Rashee Rice teams in BBM for? Like at that point, I might as well have 0. I don't think that was a great process. I mean, each team is an individual team. I should have been trying to make all my teams the best, not thinking more of like on a macro sense. I think I got too macro. And so I should have been taking Rice at the point things changed for that. And I should have been taking him in some of the time box stuff too. So bad process. I kind of just, got stubborn. I should have been taking some of him. It might still not work out. I don't love the Rice stuff. I think Mahomes looks fantastic. I think that offense looks great, but I think they are still going to spread the ball around. I think he's going to have up and down games, but those up games might be really up, and they're going to be, this is a game of spike weeks, and passing on a guy who has spike week upside is just bad process, but we'll see what happens. We could still get bailed out. Jordan noting only channel where GM is actually GM. Well, good morning to you. Good morning to you. I appreciate you coming by, hanging out. Jake noting, Chad, don't let the slappies corrupt your mind, thinking he's an auto smash. He's fancy. Khalil Shakir, his up game is 23. Yeah, I mean, I thought he was overpriced. I didn't just not take him because I don't like the guy. But it is hard to just like not have one of the main pieces of the Chiefs offense. Like I have a ton of Xavier Worthy, and people were taking Khalil Shakir before the ankle injury in the like 90s around pick 100. So even like not fancy Khalil Shakir is a player that we were 100% drafting, and people were reliant on in their wide receiver core. Yeah, I don't know. There are times when like 23 points is like what you need. Like I'd be pretty happy in some of my lineups going through if I got 23 points in them. Jake says you should be more worried about your JT, Bijan, Jacobs exposures. I don't think I'm light on those guys, am I? If I am, it wasn't like any kind of truly intentional fade. Let's see. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. Sorry, I've had that up. I meant to have this up. Apologize. Okay, Jake. Yeah, I was like, I didn't fade any of those dudes. I think I'm probably like at mark. I'm actually above market on JT. I know that because I was taking him pretty aggressively in the second. Bijan, I was taking at market. I'm at 10%. I'm pretty sure I'm at 10% Bijan in BBM here. So I think that's fine. Jacobs, I might be slightly light on Jacobs, but I don't even think so. I think I was sold on him for most of this. All right, let's take Judkins. Miami's defense is awful, and I imagine they're going to lean on that if they are smart. Now I'm just curious. I only have 11 Jacobs teams, which is slightly light. All right, let's take Justin Jefferson over Rashee Rice. I am taking Rashee Rice this week, but Justin Jefferson is still Justin Jefferson. So let's do that. Terrence says, Chiefs look like the best offensive in the league, and they get their best offensive player back. See, I think their best offensive player is Worthy. I think it's Worthy, but Worthy is obviously dealing with the shoulder thing. I think people's opinions on that can vary, but I just disagreed with the market. I thought when they were both healthy, I preferred Worthy anyway. I thought when Worthy, they were going to build the offense around Worthy, and then Rice was going to come in and not be the focal point of it. Obviously, Worthy missing significant amounts of time and not being able to lift his arms over his head has kind of mucked up that part of the thesis. But I don't know. Again, we've seen the Chiefs be annoying from fantasy even when Mahomes gets there. Like, he doesn't hyper target guys consistently. Like, he'll have games where the schemes will just dictate one of them is the guy that's, getting open. And Mahomes is so good, he'll find that player. But he's not just like first read, lock on to my best receiver and chuck it up. He's down there somewhere. Let's take Breece Hall on the opposite side of that Carolina game. I think that seems good. I was worried about Isaiah Davis getting a little more run than he actually did. It seems like maybe I thought some of that Braylon stuff was going to get absorbed by Davis, and it seems like it kind of split between Breece and Davis. So let's hit that up over there. Now, what do we want to do? Do we want Sutton? I mean, Sutton's fine. Just feels a little pricey for being 100% owned. I guess we'll take him here and let's just kind of let the room see what we got in the room. I don't think we got any friends or family in here, but we got Judkins, Jefferson, Breece, and Sutton here. We're probably going to get frozen out at the elite tight ends, which are Kraft and Fergie are going to go. Good news is tons of scroll tight ends in the 6 persons. Kraft, Goddard. I like Harold Fannin a lot. When this contest first opened, I said I thought he was going to rise. He is rising. I don't know if I want Fannin and Judkins in the main 6-person BR, but I don't think it's terrible, but I'm not like actively trying to do that. Ertz, Ertz was back involved last night, scored a touchdown. Kind of the one game where he didn't score anything was a bit of an anomaly. I think you could do worse than Waller, and then I forget who noted Taysom Hill. Terrence noted Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is down here. Michael Mayer, I think, is I scrolled over Mason Taylor. Michael Mayer going completely unowned. I don't think that's right. All right, we will. Boy, I'm just gonna take Tucker Kraft. I know this guy has a tight end, but I just don't trust people. I really think Tucker Kraft is like head and shoulders better than some of the other options. So let's just do that. Make sure this guy didn't get squirrely on us. And he can't take a quarterback anyway. That was the other position we needed. So I kind of got mixed up where we were in the draft process. So our question is, I don't think we want to do Wentz. I think we could do Jordan Love with Kraft. It's either Love with Kraft or it's Nix with Sutton. I'm fine with either. Let's make this a Lovecraft team. So this team ends up being Love, Judkins, Breece Hall, Justin Jefferson, Cortland Sutton, and Tucker Kraft. I don't mind this team. I think this team is fine. So not too bad. I'll pull the board up so people can see the other players who got taken there. You see a big gap between Daniels and the next quarterback drafted down to Mahomes and Hurts over here. I think that's how it's going to play. I think you're going to be able to get Jaden Daniels late in round 2, maybe even into early round 3 in some of these. I think that's not going to be impossible because all you need are 5 people to be kind of, I just would rather build a pocket passer. Oh, I can wait for Hurts or Mahomes or Fields, and you can see Daniels fall. So I don't know. I think there's going to be some opportunity for that for sure. I also think Daniels is a little weird to stack this week. Debo had a bit of a down game. Terry McLaurin may or may not practice this week and may or may not play. So it's kind of hard to stack. You don't have to stack Jaden Daniels, but it's a little wonky. Yes, you could stack him with Ertz, but as we see, Ertz isn't even, we had 6 tight ends drafted and Ertz is like tight end 8. So even that's not going to be super, super common there. Hey, Pat Moore Poker, GM to you, Pat. Thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. Hope you're having a great morning. We're just running through some battle royales. I forgot to timestamp that one, so we're going to guess that started around 30. Sure. We'll guess that one started around 30 there. The Eagle the Gale Kraft TD got me into the top 20 battle royale last week. Got me, love me some. Hey, the Gale, congratulations! That is awesome, man. That is awesome. I didn't get anywhere near the top of BRs last week. I think part of it was I was light on A-Chain, so it was a little. He was definitely easier way to start if you went. I had a lot of JSN, but I just didn't have him paired right. So if you went like JSN A-Chain, which I think was like kind of common around the 6-7 turn, then you had a very good start, or like 5-8 or whatnot, and I was soft fading that. So I just didn't get anything making any noise. It was a really high scoring week too. It was a very high scoring week, but that's awesome, Miguel. Congratulations. That is so cool. Let's see what the Dawg Bowl's at. Oh, we're off. We are off. I did not even know. See, we just windmilled it in. So we're gonna do another Dawg Bowl. Let's hope. All right, we got pick 2. Let's go. I think this is number 6, and I have not had a pick ahead of pick 5 yet. So we will not be taking Jaden Daniels at pick 2. I do not think that's good. So I think for me, my running back 2 this week after Taylor is going to be Jacobs. I don't see a reason to take A-Chain or Saquon or Judkins ahead of him. So to me, it's a pretty clear 1-2 this week. And then after that, I think you can start nitpicking pretty quickly. But, I think Javonte against Washington is great. Like, if I'm at pick 12 and that's what I end up with, I would be pretty happy. I mean, Washington's run defense is not great here. Terrence says, where is Jordan Mason going this week? I think he's a good play. Eagles defense in shambles. So his ADP in here is 37.1 in the Dawg Bowl. I think that's kind of fake. I think he's going to go higher than that, but he definitely goes undrafted in most of the battle royales I've done. I have not seen him. I don't think I've seen him get taken in the 6 person. I haven't done a lot of them though, but people aren't scrolling for running backs. Like I think Scatabo, if everyone takes 2 running backs, Scatabo's the second to last, and then after him, I believe is Vidal, and then after that, like no one's taking those guys. Like if this is different. I think in the 6 persons, Mason and Swift were going after Vidal. Maybe that's switched. But definitely no one's in the 6 persons is taking Kamara, Pollard, Ramondre, Pacheco. Like this is no one's touching those in the 6 persons. In the 12 persons, you do, because you almost have to. Like things get really greasy in the late in these Dawg Bowls. So a pretty sharp room again. I know Buster's Boy. I can't remember if Buster's Boy's like won a mean BR lately. Name is very familiar. I'm pretty sure this is a good. Well, most people in here, I assume, are good players, but I think he's someone I half recognize. Methodology, of course, sitting next to me at the 3. He goes Saquon in the 3rd position. We got 2 bins. He got a seat early on. He takes Daniels at pick 8. Casey Pollock and G for Gumby. So strong room here. The Gale, Descatabo, defy logic and go off versus Denver this week. I hope so. Because I'm going to be taking plenty of him. I mean, I think he just has such a good role. I mean, it's clear he has now won the backfield. It's clear he's the preferred goal line back. Again, I've said I'll keep saying this. I do not love that Dart doesn't check the ball down to him. But I think we did see a couple designed passes to him, which I think is good. I'd love to see more of that. Denver flying home off of one of the international games. We've seen Denver get beaten on the ground this year. Or I feel like, don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not comping him to Jonathan Taylor, but I think people were worried about Taylor against him, and Taylor ran for like a gorillion yards. So like it's not impossible to move the ball there. I feel like it was another running back that wasn't Jonathan Taylor that had a strong game against Denver, but I'm kind of blanking on that. Pat Moore says, Buster Boy's the CLV king. If you do early drafting, he will always be in the lobbies, whether it's NFL, PGA, etc. Okay. Yeah, very familiar with the name. Buster Boy's is full-time. Yeah. Well, we'll keep an eye on him. We'll keep an eye on him because if someone's a CLV king, we should be seeing who they're getting and taking some mental notes on that. FFG, first of all, GM to you. Thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate you. Advanced 100% of my remaining eliminators 4 into week 7. Twitter DMs are thanking you for beating Liam, who has 1 eliminate. Well, FFG, congratulations to you. That is awesome. That is awesome. I have 1 eliminator. It survived as well. Which is nice. Hold on. I'm on the clock. We'll get back to eliminator. But congratulations, FF. It's Chef. Chef? I'm calling you Chief, and that's wrong. Let's all right. You know what? The chat was in an uproar. They're like, take Jordan Mason. I do also like Vidal, but I'll take a Mason share. Yeah, Cleveland, Pittsburgh. Those are bad matchups for running. I'll take the Mason. Ladd is who I would have taken there for anyone curious to what we would have done. Interesting choice. Fields, May, Hurts. Boy. I don't know if I want Olave. I'm going to run out of time. Do I want Steph Diggs? Can I get May off? We're going to just take an unstacked Drake May here. Tennessee's defense is not good. Let's take the plunge on May. I don't think this is going to be a booty team, but you never know. Booty to me feels like chasing the new hotness. I did consider taking Hurts. Maybe unstacked Hurts would have been better potentially with, considering we do have a little bit of that game already with Mason. But I'm not purposely going to be game stacking these. And you know what we did? We did something nice. We did something nice unintentionally. Mathology, he's got Hurts, Saquon, and AJ Brown. So Mathology, if you're watching, you're welcome. You're welcome. If you get to Kansas City, you gotta, get me a drink at the free bar. But no, he does build a Eagles triple there. I am thinking May might be easier to backstack. I think Hunter Henry is going to go around here, I believe, if we want to go down that route. And I like the matchup against Tennessee a little more than I like the Hurts matchup with the Vikings. So that was that there. But yeah, Jeff, I advanced my 1 surviving team. I only did 47 to start with, so I kind of middled it, which I hate, but I do have 1 team left. It ran into what looked like a super team, but unfortunately for that super team, they had Puka, and Puka did nothing, and our team got home. So my team is still alive. Pumped to see who we run into. Greg says, run that name into half my drafts practically. Yeah, no, he's in everything. He's also won our hearts. Buster Boy, sure. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, Buster. This could be a Buster Boys channel. He doesn't know who we are, but go Buster Boys. He's also a professional sniper, like stream sniper or like Marine Corps sniper. Because either way, I probably don't want to upset him. Go Buster Boys. Mathology says, was doing some drafting and driving. Just got to the office to build out some double. Mathology, I mean, I'm glad we did not snipe you there on Jalen Hurts then. Although I was taking my guy. I didn't even know you had that double going. So I'm glad it worked out. The world was in on Diggs. Pop Douglas goes off for almost 2 touchdowns and 100 yards. The NFL is funny. Yep. Yeah, it is. It's a good bit. It's a good bit that we keep chasing these New England parts, and we just keep getting it wrong here. All right, let's see what's going on. Oh, he always takes the guy you want. Yeah. Well, I know I feel like we see that with some of these like sharper drafters, where it's also a little bit of like, it's a little comforting. It's like, well, if that smart guy took the guy I wanted, at least my process was good, and I'd settled on a good play. Let's see. Does Mathology go for the triple? Does he take Devonta? No, he says that's too much. All right, let's take Hunter Henry. So we will stack. Let's stack Henry and Drake May, and then we're going to have to figure something out here. We'll see what Buster's Boys does here, but I am glad I got Hunter Henry. a little bit ahead of ADP for us, but I think that's fine. We did get a Drake May stack. We can take 2 wide receivers at this point. Let's see, does Buster's Boy take a running back or another receiver? Interesting choices for us here. Let's see. He takes Devonta. That's who I was going to take, mostly because I'm being a coward and I don't know what else to do here. I need 2 wide receivers. I mean, Shaheed is fine. He's so spike weeky. It's like I already have some of him. This feels early for him, but I mean, there's no such thing as early on the turn. So we'll take Shaheed. It does feel like a guy that either like sinks your lineup like entirely or kind of takes you through. I did also consider Addison there, building out some of this Minnesota thing that I have with Mason, but I'll take the plunge on Shaheed. Don't love that. Would have been really happy with Devonta Smith, but Buster's Boy went there. Yeah, Scatabo won the backfield and our hearts. Yeah, I mean, my Twitter algo has been nothing but Scatabo for months now, because this is I'm been a Scatabo true believer for years now. But now my Instagram feed is even showing me Scatabo stuff, and I those things I don't believe are connected. But I think Scatabo has broken contain and is now into the hearts and minds of America. The Gale, love the idea of Shaheed versus my Bears. He will feed families when the world's on Olave. Hey, the Gale, I hope so. He's a guy I'll never criticize someone for taking in a dog bowl, because he can just get there on low volume. And if he gets anything more than that, he's like a massive smash. I think he's had like 4 receptions in every games, but just like one of them, he had like 112 yards and a touchdown. So if that happens again, he's a nice pick in the 5th. It's just, I would prefer him in the 6th when I already have a running back I'm happy with. Like, I'm not that much more enamored about Hunter Henry as I am about like Fannin, who you can get, a full round later, or even Michael Mayer, like these guys. But I did, having Drake May building this out, I could not pass on Henry if I wanted him, and I really just don't want to be taking a shot on Booty or Pop Douglas this week. Hey, go AZ Cards GM, wake up crew, GM to you. Good morning, go AZ Cards. Yes, you did. Saw Scatabo as my first DBQ pick yesterday. I don't think I took him in the first round in anything, but I might have. It's possible. I didn't think I did. Greg says I had a team in 8th place in the double reverse, 2 places out of the money, carrying Shaheed's 4 points. Oh, yeah, because if Shaheed has the week before his game, you won the double reverse. But that's like, yeah, that's a bummer, Greg. That's a bummer. And that's a contest where like the top 5 pays, right? That's the it's like the $2, but only 5 people get paid, if I'm not mistaken. Or I guess top 6, because you said you were in 8th and 2 out of the money. But yeah, that's brutal, man. That's brutal. Those top heavy contests, those things on the margins are so cool. I mean, the DBQ is the same kind of thing, where it's like, man, you can have an awesome team and just by fractions of points, you go from like, this is, potentially changing the trajectory of me doing this, versus like not cashing or, getting that stinks. Greg says, I would have won a few contests if he hit the nuts outside of Shaheed and he was my scroller. Yeah, we push on. I mean, and I don't think that's a reason to get away from Shaheed. You play that bet knowing he's not going to be like, well, anything can happen, but he's probably not the guy that's like, oh, he had, 13.5 points. The rest of my team went off. And so I was fine. I got there. Like, he's going to be like one of the reasons you got there, or like, oh my God, I have this like anchor dragging my team down. All right, we are coming back up. And man, we are getting thin down here, and we still have 2 more wide receivers to go before we get taken. Marvin Harrison got concussed. I'm pretty sure he's out. I really just don't think I want Booty. I mean, this is so chasey. these target numbers are god awful. I don't mind going Luther Bird in there, although I wish his snaps had come up a little bit. MHJ taking the Q tag, that's fine. Wandale against Denver, I don't hate that. We could go back to the Jacoby Myers industrial complex, but I think I am going to take Io Manor. Now, it was unfortunately Van Jefferson that seemed to benefit most when Calvin Ridley got hurt. But Calvin Ridley did get hurt. We were taking Io Manor in dog bowls earlier on deeper slates. You know what? I'm not a big bring back guy in these. I don't think you need it, but I kind of like it here. We do need Drake May and Hunter Henry to need to keep throwing. Tennessee fired their coach. Maybe they get, they want to get the younger guys involved. So anyway, I don't mind Io Manor as a deep dog bowl scroll. At least I don't think he's markedly worse than these guys, and he's going to be pretty low owned. So we take Io Manor. So this team ends up being Jacobs, Mason, May, Henry, Rashid Shaheed, and Elik Io Manor. So yeah, I like this team. I think it's a perfectly fine dog bowl team. Let's see what our friends and family put together. We got let's see Buster Boys, the sharp drafter here. He's got Jonathan Taylor, Cortland Sutton, Ladd McConkey, Bo Nix. So he buys Bo Nix, the Dipperino, and goes Nick Sutton. Takes Devonta Smith. I think that's just a nice value pick. And Mason Taylor, with Garrett Wilson missing time, I like Mason Taylor. I think him being, I'm going to guess he's about 50% owned in dog bowls, because I think he's like tight end 13 or 14. Maybe that's higher, because you will see people with, you will see the Justin Fields team stack him. So maybe he does creep above that. But I like Jason Taylor. I think as pick 72, that is not a bad way to end the team. Mythology with Saquon, AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts, Keenan Allen. So he opens with the Eagles triple, gets a bring back with Addison. Nice game stack there. And then Loveland and Allen. So kind of buying Loveland before we truly see the breakout. But these late tight end scrolls, getting a guy that's going to be super low owned, that can be a ticket to the dog bowl, like Mythology's team there. We'll check on Tubins, because he is, dog bowl qualifier. We know he knows what he's doing. He goes Daniels, Odunze, Debo, McLaurin, or I want to skip that. So he goes Daniels, Samuel, McLaurin, Ertz. So he triple stacks Jaden Daniels. Now, they are playing Dallas. Dallas's pass defense is bad. That is very aggressive. I tend to not like to triple stack my running quarterbacks, because part of the reason I like them is because I think they're going to run one in. And obviously, if they run one in, they're not throwing it. But, the game shoots out. We've seen overstacks get home. Far be it for me to criticize Tubinis. So very interesting to see him doing that. Maybe this is something I should consider more. And then adds attacks on Kamara and Odunze, who I think are perfectly fine. Love the Odunze click there myself. G for Gumby, another sharp drafter, another good streamer. If you don't follow and sub to him, you should, because good dude there, a badge bro. So he goes Genty, Pickens, Ramondre. So Ramondre at 35. I think that's a tad early, but if you look, literally only 2 running backs go after him at all, Kamara and Henderson. I mean, nobody wants the really deep running backs. So I think Ramondre still getting the lion's share of the carries there. Had a bit of a down game, but the role was still really good. I like Ramondre. It's just, running back in these dog bowls is crazy. QJ Waller, Kyler Murray. I imagine the Kyler pick is a Q tag, playing the Q tag game, which I think is fine, right? No quarterbacks went after him. I don't think any of these other quarterbacks who got taken are questionable. If Fields doesn't play, you're not going to get a swap, because he's likely still going to be active. So it's not like a Q tag situation. So stays on the clock there. We'll see what he does, or maybe Kyler plays and you get a very low owned Kyler Murray. All right. Greg asking, anyone push forward for my 2Q teams? Or are we boycotting that contest? My one team died. As I noted, I took Tyreek, and it died before it ever even played it down. Jared says, I think part of my process I need to revive is the rationing of fallacy of rational coaching, especially for certain coaches. Yes. I mean, we have just learned that what we think coaches and people should do, it's not always what they do. If you ever played MMA DFS, you'll get the same thing. You'll have two fighters and like you'll have a grappler against a striker, and you're like, well, this guy just needs to, get takedowns, grind him up against the cage, and then you see the fight and he's just like standing in the middle of the ring, like winging bombs, and it's like, this is not what I signed up for. Why are you not wrestling? Like, and then they get knocked out, and you're like, good job, buddy. Thanks for doing that. So we don't always see our fantasy players and coaches do what we want them to do or think they should do. And we definitely see that in the NFL too. We definitely see that. Like, why did Dylan Gabriel drop back 58 times against the Steelers or 56 times or whatever? Like, please just keep running the ball. You have a quarterback making his second start, against the Steelers, and you're asking him to throw a gorillion times. Like, this doesn't make any sense. DJ Moore left in an ambulance regarding the bird and snap concern. Yeah. No, I think I don't mind the bird and click at all. I think that's nice. It's just been so annoying with Zacchaeus. It's been so gosh darn annoying. Go easy cards. I would have won everything if I didn't play Puka MHJ. Insert every week 6 play. Yeah. I mean, I had one of my best DraftKings weeks of the year, and it's because I faded Puka. Probably got a little lucky there. I was JSN over Puka, but I mean, I'm sure if Puka puts up 22 fantasy points, like some of those, I'm sure there were teams below me that would have been above me if Puka doesn't like completely brick. FF Chef, I think Naked Daniels is fine this week. Yeah, I think he's fine this week too. But also you have Dubin's triple stacking him. So I think there's definitely more than one way for Daniels this week. But I agree, FF Chef. If you said you can either play him naked or triple stacked, I would prefer to play him naked myself, and just count on him getting there via the rushing and not and then spreading the ball around a little. Go AZ cards. Not all Dawg Bowl qualifiers know what they're doing. Insert Go AZ. Hey, you and me both, buddy. You and me both. But Go AZ cards, you are underselling yourself. I know you are a very sharp drafter. We've reviewed many of your teams, and you definitely are. Definitely know what you're doing. So you're not going to fool me with that act. All right, let's hop in another VR. Let me get the timestamp going. Also, it's been almost an hour. If you have not liked and subbed, please do so. It helps me out. It's been so much fun growing the channel, building the community. Love doing these with y'all, talking through the process, drafting these DBQs, seeing what we can do, and of course the main BRs, which would be fun to take down another one of these. Would be really fun. Have not had a top 100 finish. I think it was week 4. I had a lineup that was 20 points off the lead, but I also got 0 points from Zach Ertz that week. So that was it felt like I had a super team for 5 out of 6 positions, and in my 6th position literally got me 0. So that team could have been fun if we had, it was a Bowers swap to Ertz, and Ertz got me stone 0. And again, that was the week where every tight end under the sun got there except for Ertz. So we're knocking on the door. We're knocking on the door. Steven says, "God, you reminded I forgot to like." No worries, Steven. I appreciate you getting that like in. And yeah, so I don't think ship chasing is on today. They were on last week at 10 on Tuesday, but I think that was like a once a month thing. I don't think they're going live. No, they have a members only stream at 8, so I don't think anyone's coming on right at 10. We'll see. I don't know how much longer I'll go past 10. If I do, I'm just trying to make sure I don't run into anything here. But all right, let's see. Just checking some. All right, we are off and running here, and we've got the 5-hole. We got Mr. Worth at the 1. The 5 is so odd. The 5-6 is odd because if you don't take Daniels here, and you know Judkins, I think I'm not going to pass Judkins. I think these first 5 running backs go where they should, but you know Pickens and Lamb are reversed in the Dawg Bowl, and that tends to be, you know, the Dawg Bowl tends to kind of precede the ADP movements we see in the main BR. I think in the main BR, people are more anchored to ADP, whereas in the Dawg Bowl, people are trying to get ahead of ADP. So, I mean, probably see Lamb flip Pickens if he's going to play. You know, Rashee Rice is super fun, but like, we're already like ordaining him the wide receiver 1. Like, Worthy's still there. This just feels like a lot for Rashee Rice, who we haven't seen him. We think we know what the role is. I don't know. Justin Jefferson, well, now he's got Carson Wentz attached to him. It's a little wonky. Rico Dowdle could, you know, be in a split backfield. So it's like, there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions in this kind of 7 through 11, 12 range here. Like the guy I feel most comfortable with is Rome Odunze, and his ADP is 12.5. So I could see this shaking up when we get more clarity. But I think this is a chance to kind of like not be chained to ADP, because to me, this sort of represents like the height of almost all of these guys. Like, I don't think Pickens or Rice is going to move up. I think these first 5 running backs are kind of a sell wall here, and we'll see players kind of shuffle around them. I'll do Saquon here. I think in my heart of hearts, I prefer Judkins, but I also think there's a chance Judkins comes back, because, you know, when Judkins going 12 for 36, I think if you're box score watching, you might be down on that. So we might get some occasional Judkins slides, whereas I mean, maybe people let Saquon slide too. So let's see. All right, we'll do Jefferson. This is not because it's a game stack, but I think I do want to be taking some Jefferson. Scatabo at 9. My God. All right, let's see. Jake notes, I'm getting an uncomfortable amount of the 1.1 today, so JT's probably not who you need. I would be thrilled to have the 1.1. I don't think I have any of, how much do I have? Have I gotten the 1.1? $12. I guess I've gotten him in a playbook and in a a main BR, because we ran a couple playbooks yesterday. So I would never complain about getting that. Hey, Fantasy Dog number 11, like morning, Chad and Go Easy. Hey, Fantasy Dog, thanks so much. Appreciate the likes. Means a ton. Thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. Likewise, Hulk Smash Potatoes. Thank you, Hulk Smash Potatoes. Good morning. Your username always gets me, and I like your choice of I've been trying to figure out, right, because I don't think that's the default avatar. Like, the default avatars are, I guess, no, I thought the default was uppercase, but your name is lowercase, so that makes sense. But anyway, love the lime green H. It always gets me. Very distinct. And it's not bad on Chad's, like 17 of 20, 59%. Yeah. I mean, it's looking like my Badge Bros Brawls advance rate. Now that which has slid a little bit. We're at about 40%. I knew it was going to come down from Thursday because I have so much Scatabo and no one else had played. That one was going to be slightly illusory, but we're still looking good. We'd love to keep the like advance rate high. It's always been JT. Yeah, FF Jeff. I agree. He's so good. Him and Jacobs. It's like getting the 1-2 to me is really nice this week. That's right. Not that I don't think you could possibly win without that, but it's I really do like those picks. All right, let's do. Man, Krusky Merritt. I guess we'll take him. You know, Dallas's run defense has been pretty not good. Or at least it wasn't against Rico Dowdle. Krusky Merritt, not my favorite click, but I don't want to be I do not want to be entirely out on that. My preferred play would probably be Ladd. You could talk me into one of these elite tight ends, though. If Ladd goes, I'll take one of these elite tight ends, and then we'll scroll receiver, I think. Yeah, I think I prefer that. There's so many good scroll tight ends. I think we're going to get a lot of elite tight ends. I also think if you try to push tight end, you'll randomly get them late. Like we got, I can't remember if this was on stream or when I did this morning or last night, where I got like Tucker Kraft in the last round. I was like, okay, I was going to scroll, but I'll just take that. All right. The Gale says, can't wait for A-Chain to fail me after I basically faded him. Yeah, you and me both, the Gale. I thought the Dolphins were circling the drain. They are circling the drain, but that like centrifugal force actually sped A-Chain up as he circled the drain. He launched into the end zone. Tieran Charles, I think Jake's point is how his luck set up. If they appear to be going his way, something's no. I hear you. I'm the same way. I'm like, oh, finally I get what I want, and then you get what you want, and it's a nightmare. It's like a monkey's paw situation. But I hear you. I hear you. Sometimes it does feel like when things start going too well, it's like, all right, when's the shoe gonna drop? Go Easy Card saying morning fantasy dog. The Gale left JCM went off yesterday. Couldn't click him fast enough this week versus Dallas. Yeah, I agree there. Maybe that saved our ADP a little bit. Although, going in the third round of the main VR it's pretty aggressive. it's pretty aggressive. Look at us now, Krusky Merit Nation. We did it. We made it. All right, let's see. So if Coles doesn't take a quarterback, well, I guess either way, we don't need to take a quarterback until our last pick because this guy has a quarterback. So I think we'll probably do Herbert here, right? I mean, I would love Tucker Kraft. If we could get Tucker, oh man, see, we waited, right? I'm making sure I'm not doubling up on anything. Yeah, let's just do Tucker Kraft and Justin Herbert, right? That seems good. It seems strong. This team's awesome. All right, so I'm pretty happy with this team. We're going to get Justin Herbert, Saquon Barkley, Krusky Merritt, and then Justin Jefferson, Ladd McConkey, and Tucker Kraft. So I think this is kind of a fun team. Let's see what Mr. Worth does. He goes Jonathan Taylor, George Pickens, Rome of Junze, Breece Hall, Jalen Hurts. Nice team there. We'll see how he lands the plane, and then we'll move on into we'll rip another one. We'll rip another BR. Yeah, no real scrolls in this draft, but honestly, I'm kind of okay with it. I think getting the falling Kraft is kind of nice. We're definitely going to do a lot of drafts where we scroll. Is it possible this is dupe? Sure, but I don't know why it doesn't feel that dupey. Herbert's a little scrolly, but I think teams that have Ladd are going to have a lot of Herbert. J-Dubs takes Fannin over Goddard. I was wondering if you were going to do the stack or make the Fannin bet. So I think both are perfectly acceptable ways to play the draft. Hey, Fantasy Dog Pound, GM to you. You know what? We were in the Matic Discord discussing your elite advance rates. So Fantasy Dog Pound, congratulations, man. We had pulled you up on the portfolio tool, and you are absolutely crushing it. I hope that continues. It's well deserved. If y'all don't subscribe to Fantasy Dog Pound, truly one of the best ones out there. So I hope you're having a great morning, and we're going to be hopping into another VR. Let me update the time stamps here for all the all the people who are watching later. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Hope the timestamps are helpful. If not, they make the video look a little more professional because this is a very fly-by-night operation here. FF Chef noting NFC East division games are unpredictable. One team could be 10-0, one could be 0-10, and when they play, it will look like no one understands the game of football. Yeah, I mean these division games are often like that. It seems like teams have more of a tendency to either play up or play down to their competition. I also feel like the NFC East, no one ever knows what to make of the Eagles. Like even when they're good, people kind of like begrudgingly say they're good, and then when they're not good, it feels like everyone's like, "Oh yeah, see, we knew it. Hurts sucks. He can't get it done." It's like, well, he also just won the Super Bowl and looked really good during their playoff run. But I don't know. I mean, they're a really fun division. I think my vibesy take is they're the most fun division in football. Like the Giants are now super fun. I think the Eagles are kind of fun in like a train wreck way, but you also have some of the most exciting players. They just run like a really unexciting offense, but when they want to be fun or when the stars align, they're fun. Commanders, super fun. Like Dallas, like it's a great division. The NFC East is a great division. The Gale noting, did they knock off 10K entrants because they only filled 91%? That's my guess. That is my guess here. All right, we'll do A-Chain this week. We will do A-Chain. We're not going to fade him. The Gale in the room. The Gale gets the 1.1. Good luck to you, the Gale. But yeah, it didn't fill, and they don't like that. They do not want to be giving us overlay. As much as we like the overlay, it's not great for them. No need to pull me up on the tool. Only pain him. Is it? Hey, you know what? It's you can literally have the worst advance rates ever, but then if you ship a contest, then what does it matter? What does it matter? So I mean, until it's week 17 and there's nothing left. It's no worries. Go AZ cards. Fantasy Dog Pound and Candles collab. Would or should you? Hey, Terrence. I mean, Fantasy Dog Pound. He's burns the midnight oil, man. He's up late. We're on early. I like to think we're like a great bookend, to your best ball and dailies day. But no, Fantasy Dog Pound is always welcome, and I would be honored to join him at any point. Yes, so far so good. Hope the season treating the boys well. It is Fantasy Dog Pound. It is. I'm happy to just be running slightly ahead of expected advance rates this season through most contests. Obviously thrilled for the Dawg Bowl. Can't wait to go to Kansas City. I've only been to Kansas City once, and it was to watch the Dolphins game. So that was kind of miserable because it's the Dolphins. But yeah, it's been going great, man. It's been going great. Okay, what do we want to do? We've got A-Chain here. We could go running back. I'll take Odunze here. I'm not going to be fading Rice, but man, it is still tough. It is tough for me to make that. It is tough for me to make that click here in the second round. Just windmilling in Rice when we haven't seen him. So go easy cards. You have a Dawg Bowl seat, man. You're you're doing good. You're doing good. We're everyone here. It's a gender neutral saying is the way I understand it. Everyone here is having a fantastic start to their season. Do we want to take a running back or do we want to go receiver? I mean, I guess I'll take Lamb. Let's take Lamb because I think this gives us a chance to build a super team. If Lamb is in and healthy, he's going to go ahead of 11.5. We already got Odunze at some ADP value. And I guess we didn't get A-Chain. Well, A-Chain is pick 3, but the ADP is a little squirrely. So I don't know. This gives us a chance to maybe build a team we won't be able to build later in the week if CD's playing. I tend to think that he's not. And if he, that's just my personal opinion. He was working off to the side with resistance bands. People were zooming in on his ankle to see how it looked. I don't know. My personal take is that they let him rest another week, but it's also a big division game. They may trot him out there. I'm sure he wants to be out there. So that's a long way of saying I think taking Lamb well past ADP this early in the week makes sense because it may become impossible to do A-Chain, Odunze, and Lamb by the time this contest closes. So let's see if we can't make that happen. I think we're still going to get a running back we like. One of Krosky, Merritt, Hall, Scatterbo. Genty's fine. The matchup is just kind of nightmarish. So that's of course a little bit scary. He's also kind of annoyingly doesn't get all the carries we want. I think he gets all the high value stuff, but I don't know. It's tough. I mean, if we could get Krosky Merritt on this team, then we will be battle royale euphoric. I'm not counting on that, but it would be cool. We only have to get by one more guy. Oh my gosh, we got it. All right, now Now we have, I don't want to throw out the term super team, but we kind of have a super team here. The question is do we take Dak or do we take Kraft? I gotta think that this guy with Pickens will take. Kraft. I don't know why I thought I got to pick before someone else who needed a running back or a tight end. Okay, so I think we just take Dak here. We don't muck around. We take Dak and then we'll take a good tight end. So this team might be like literally impossible to get later on. Getting Krosky Merritt, 8 picks after ADP. Getting Odunze a couple picks, getting Lamb. If Lamb shifts up from ADP of 11 to like ADP 7 or 8, it's just this combination won't exist. So I think this is kind of fun. Now we just got to decide what tight end do we want, and that could absolutely make or break. That could absolutely make or break things. I think for me it's Fannin. Not just because we have A-Chain. I just think Fannin, Gabriel's hyper-targeting the tight ends, and Njoku's injured. I think that's how I'd play it. If this guy goes double tight end, which I think is bad and weird, I can't imagine him taking Fannin. If he does, I would probably take Dallas Goedert because the role and usage has been so good. That's sort of my thought there. But yeah. All right, let's see. Someone to be a Titans insider on Reddit said the refs at Tennessee's training camp had to explain the rules of football to Callahan for 15 minutes like he was a 5th grader. That doesn't sound real to me. That can't be. Unless it's like really arcane rules. Like if you're talking about like lining up and motion stuff, but even then you'd think a head coach would know all that. Like I feel like 90% of the time when there's an illegal formation call, the broadcast doesn't even bother to explain it because like people's eyes glaze over like where you have to have light end, where you have to have like the O-line lined up and who's covering up who and then who can move and such. It's just like, does it take too long to explain to like the general public that it's not worth it? I could see a coach getting a little confused, like trying to run some formation and the ref being like, no, you can't actually do that. But even that you should know if you're an NFL head coach. Go Easy Cards and a BR now, and I have A-Chain, Bill, and Pickens. Yeah, that's pretty nice. That's a pretty nice start there. Again, Pickens, if Lamb is out, I mean Pickens, my goodness, he is such a smash. But yeah, this is a fun team we ended up here with Dak, A-Chain, Krosky Merritt, Odunze, Lamb, and then the Fannin bet winding it out. The Gale asking, do you know why Moore has a Q tag? Yeah, FF Shift noting he left the arena in an ambulance last night. I have not heard why. As of this morning, people were speculating that it was some kind of like internal organ thing, either a lung or a kidney. I do not know. Because nobody saw like a particular hit or anything that they like clearly identified what happened. At least me I since I've been streaming, I have not checked Twitter or anything to know more than we knew kind of very early this morning. All right, let's check the Gales team before we move on out of this room. Jonathan Taylor, Jaden Daniels, Deebo Samuel, Ashton Genty, Tucker Kraft, Ted McMillan. Yeah, that's a perfectly cromulent team there. The Gale, I like the crew you put together. FF Chef noting everyone's best guess is a lacerated kidney. Yes, I think that's everyone's best guess, but I would not be surprised if it was something completely different and it was just, again, us zooming in on like replays trying to figure it out. Go Easy Cards asking another DBQ. I feel like this is what it feels like to be bum hunted, but let's see. Waiting for 8. Oof. I don't know. I don't think I want to wait for this one. Let me hop in another BR. Let me hop in another BR. Let me get the timestamp. going here. 119.00 BR4. All right, sweet. Let's run another one. And then I'll try to do another. If the stars align, go AZ cards. We can do another one. We can do another. You can alert the cabal. You can alert the cabal and be like, all right, we got a live one. We got Chad Candles drafting. Let's get them. All right. We're in at the 2, and I don't think I recognize anybody else in here. But yeah, appreciate all of you. I think these have been fun. I think the CD Lamb question is a pretty big one as far as whether we can count on him this week or not. And I think I've talked myself into wanting to draft him early this week. I think the upside and the player combos you get are worth the eating the. I think you're essentially eating $7 if you take him and he doesn't play. I think the Q tag stuff, like, yeah, maybe you choose right. Like, maybe I just rank like Worthy really aggressively, and I end up with a bunch of Worthy instead, and Worthy goes off, and that's gets me home. I don't know. It feels like you might be sacrificing a little too much. That said, let's look at it. If we really think about it, if Lamb is out, the next guys that are going to be 100% drafted, we got Odunze, Debo, Ladd, and Sutton. And then after that, pick 30 means they're not taken every time. Are we really that mad about missing out? Maybe Odunze is the only one. But, like, if I don't get Debo, I like Ladd. But, like, if you told me Worthy or AJ Brown outscored Ladd, am I, like, shocked? Not really. So I don't know. I think where he goes, it's kind of like shadily worth the risk. That's kind of where I'm coming down at. By the same token, I'm not going to fade Pickens either, because I think even if Lamb plays, he's could still absolutely get there. And if Lamb doesn't play, I don't see him rising. I truly don't. I don't see him going much higher. I don't think he flips Judkins. Like, yeah, I think he's going to flip Jaden Daniels anyway, because I think people are going to. I tend to think as the week goes on, elite quarterbacks tend to fall a couple spots, like not crazy. So I think he's going to flip Daniels unless Lamb is in, and then that might hold. But I still think Daniels is probably going to drop a couple spots before the end of the week. All right, I didn't do it yesterday. But I really got to blow my nose today. I thought we were over it, but give me a second. Proud tradition of this channel is the horrible nose blow, but that's what happens when you've got a young child at home, and he's very, very sweet, but he brings home all manner of disease into the house. All right, let's take Pickens at pick 11. Let's run it back. So we got Jacobs, Pickens. That seems like fun. I don't think I want to go Lamb Pickens in the main BR, even if that's there. That feels a little thin. I would absolutely do that in some of the smaller field stuff and just overstack it. Let's go back to the Krosky Merritt well. I think that's nice there. So we'll go back to Krosky Merritt, even though I'm a little skeeved out by the fumbling and just the fact that the backfield usage seems a little bit less predictable than we'd like. Let's go back to that well. And I think tight end is deep enough for us to take it. I kind of want to do a scroll wide receiver. So maybe we won't go. It's hard for me to pass Ladd because I do think he's kind of a tier break. I'm fine passing Cortland Sutton. I do like Sutton as a bounce back. He is one of those players that will just like have a goose egg week, and then they'll just force feed him the following week. We've seen that happen for a couple years now. It seems like he can just have those down games, but he tends to bounce back from them pretty quickly. I don't think the Giants secondary is truly a terrifying prospect. They're back at home, so I'm fine. I am fine taking some Sutton. I think I want this to be a scroll down receiver team, but it could be a scroll down. It could also be a scroll down tight end team. So let's stay a little nimble here. I think Pickens and Dak obviously is going to be super common. So we could try to do something like Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith. That's going to be lower owned. I mean, I could just take Sutton and go Sutton, Nix, and then scroll at tight end. I don't mind that. I think I am going to actually do that. I know I said I was going to scroll. This is me talking out my procedure, not lying through my teeth. I think I want Sutton on this because I'm going to have a lot of Scatabo, but I don't want all my Scatabo teams to have Sutton. I think that's going to be something people do like a lot. Go for the Scatabo Sutton as a bring back to Scatabo. So I kind of want one of these Sutton teams to be Sutton, Nix, and then no Giant on the other end of it. I think it's a perfectly fine game stack there. And then as far as tight end, I'm debating between Goddard and Fannin. Let's continue the Fannin bet. I'm pretty into this. So let's do Fannin there. We'll queue up Bo Nix. I'm assuming I'm going to get Nix. If I don't, there are a lot of good options. You know, I don't actually hate just doing unstacked Jackson Dart. I mean, maybe that's what we do. We do an unstacked Jackson Dart on the other side of Sutton. You know, if Scatabo does not get home, it could very well be because Dart ate his lunch and got all of the, took the goal line stuff for himself. And, Scatabo has 27 carries for 66 yards and no touchdown. Like, that's going to happen to Scatabo one of these weeks. I fully expect that sort of run out to happen. I don't think it's fair to call him touchdown dependent, but I do think there are going to be weeks where the touchdown variance goes against him if the passing volume to him is low, which we've seen with Dart. I think, again, I said this before, but I do think there's a bit of a comp between Hurts, Saquon, and Dart Scatabo. I feel like I kind of see that where I don't think I want to stack them. Whereas sometimes I don't mind quarterback and running back. I think this is one where I'm generally going to be trying to avoid unless the scheme changes and we see more manufactured stuff. I think that's kind of going to be how it goes. All right, so we will get Dart on this team. So this is going to be Dart, Josh Jacobs, Krosky Merritt, and then Pickens, Sutton, and the Fannin bet. That's kind of a fun team. Kind of a fun little team that we have concocted here. I think Denver's going to present some challenges, but the Giants are coming off the mini bye. I think this is a good spot for the Giants. I mean, they have longer rest versus a team flying home from Europe. I mean, I know it's in Denver, so that's maybe negates a little bit of that, but it does seem like this could potentially set up well for the Giants. For the Giants, let's see what that Dawg Bowl's at. Go AZ Cards. Let's see what that's at. It's probably gonna be waiting for 3. Oh, it's full. I hope you were in the lobby, Go AZ Cards, if you wanted to get in this one. Let me. All right, what are we at? Oh, and we got rewarded with the 10. All right. 128.45. DBQ3. All right. So I think we'll probably run this and then one more BR, maybe 2, and then get on out of here. We'll see how this goes. Appreciate all of you. If you can, like and sub. Keeps us running these BRs with all of you. Go AZ Cards, you're not in the room. I am sorry you did not make it in. Once again, we're sitting near Mathology. We're sitting next to Buster's Boys as we did last draft. 2 bins early. All of us trying to get that early ADP value. We'll see what it is. Who did Buster's Boys? end that last draft with? I didn't save the board. I feel like he had a good scroll, and I'm struggling to remember who it was. I'm struggling to remember, but I know, Go Easy Cards, I'm sorry. I did this one for you, and then you're not even in the room. But that's okay. Last week I did 35 Dawg Bowl Qualifiers. I said I was going to try to do between 20 and 25, but I could not resist doing them. I'm going to try to keep it around 30 again this week. Probably try to do between 2 and 3 on stream each day, and then run a couple a day off stream. Last DBQ. Oh yeah, Mason Taylor. Thank you. Hey, Aaron. First of all, Aaron Haberman, appreciate you so much. Thanks for coming in, hanging out. And you're right. It was Mason Taylor. And I like that. I like that click in the tight ends. The tight end is weirdly deep for how bad some of the other positions are. Like, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got 10 tight ends I'm like not mad about. And then 11, 12, 13, Hawkinson even, 14. I don't love Theo Johnson, but, he didn't do much last week, right? Yeah, he still had 4 targets. I mean, he is live, to score. Like, there's more than 12 tight ends that you can draft, which is really weird considering how fast the other positions seem to fall off. So I don't know. I think I'm okay in the Dawg Bowl, like pushing tight end to the end. There's a lot of really good options. Definitely could see separation from the elites. McBride with Brissett seems like almost like a whole new man. 11 targets last week, fantastic against the Colts. That was pretty cool. Tyler Warren, Ferguson, still big target monster. Got in the end zone, a little quieter of a day, right? He only had 3 targets, but he did score. We're not really afraid of Washington's defense, so we could see one of the elite tight ends separate. Tucker Kraft, the flow chart against Arizona, this ADP of 40. I mean, that feels really late, but I do think there might be a tendency as people do more of these to push tight end to the end because there's so many good options. Go Easy Cards, DBQ. I can get Taylor or Ingram last round. Works. Yeah, I agree. I think the late tight end. I think that's going to be the meta this week if I'm going to predict how it goes. But the other thing countering that is you kind of get to the middle of the board and some of these like receiving options seem kind of gross. All right, do we want to play the CD Lamb Q tag game in a Dawg Bowl? Are we that brave? I'm already like don't love this spot. I don't know that I do. I'm going to take Breece here. And the reason I'm not taking Lamb is not only because I think you're just cooked if he doesn't play. I don't think he's going to rise that much if he's in. People are so running back thirsty. Like, where does Lamb go if he's in? Does he flip Javonte or Dowdle when we're so running back thirsty? Like, maybe. I don't feel like you're sacrificing like crazy unique combos if he's in. Now maybe I'm wrong and Lamb rockets into like the before Saquon, but I don't think people are going to do that. I think people are still very running back hungry. So I don't know. That's where I'm at there. But I'm willing to listen to people who think I'm wrong on that. I just prefer Scatabo to Genti. I prefer the matchup. I prefer the usage, and I'm going to play it like that. So I'll take Scatabo here. It's not just because I'm a Scatabo fanboy. I just think I'm going to make my stand on that. So we'll see what happens. I could be way off on this. I could be way off on this, but I think I got to live my truth here. FYI, your first draft yesterday, Scatabo 1.12 first round respect. All right. I mean, when you're at the turn, you got to get your guy. There's no way they're coming back. We'll say it's unique pairings. Go AZ Cards. We'll call it unique pairings. So we see the turn going Lamb McBride. So the Buster's boys not worried about the fall off in running back. Very curious to see who he takes. This is something that we can be learning here because he is obviously going to have to scroll for at least one running back. I think last draft he went 3 receivers, so he's not, you see a lot of these good players, they're not committed to a specific build. I think it's very easy to go into a draft saying I'm going to do, a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and a tight end, and that's that. You have to be willing to take what the room gives you. I think he sees this Jefferson-Rice combo as superior to the running backs, and probably has an idea of a later running back. But I would not be surprised. In fact, I would almost certainly, unless there's some big value, that he goes 3 wide receiver here because of how dire running back gets. Mathology takes a similar tack to me, going running back goes Williams, Genty. I think that's fine. I mean, Genty is obviously a very good player. If the Raiders keep it close, they probably are going to need Genty to be a big part of that. So I think they're going to make Genty as involved as they can for as long as they can. So I don't mind it. I just like Scadabo's role. I just like Scadabo's role so much coming into this week. Just Mostert's been kind of annoying. We've seen him get some of the stuff we want. So I don't know. Between the matchup and the usage, I just think, to me, I like the certainty of what we get here. Well, nothing's certain. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I'm trying to say here. All right, so let's see. I just don't recognize a lot of these other names here. DMA, is that you? The names are showing up wonky on my thing. But DMH, I don't know if this is Hartman or not, but whoever you are, DMH, appreciate you. I might be the number 1 Scadaboy. Yes, I am a Scadabo believer through and through. And a true Arizona State slappy. I can't help it. I think he has done more to damage the value of my academic degree than anything ever. If you went to Arizona State like I did, now people, oh, that's where Scadabo went. Oh yeah, it's an academic powerhouse, So we hopefully no one is is relying on that, because it's not great. It is not great for us in the academic streets. Flyfish, hey, first of all, thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. Was disappointed Genty didn't nuke versus Tennessee. Yeah, I was too. I had a lot of Genty in DFS, and he was fine. I think he had like 16 point something over on DK. But yeah, it felt like it should have been a much bigger day than it was. But that was kind of a weird game. Tennessee didn't put up a ton of fight, which you'd think would lend itself well to their running back going off. But yeah, kind of odd. So again, I don't want to be out on Genty. I will take some of him, but I think the order we're drafting them is wrong. Go easy. Dobbins or Mason this week? I think it's just Mason for me, but I don't mind. It's so hard to trust some of the Denver stuff. It's just so random. And eventually we think there's going to be more RJ Harvey. I don't know. I don't mind Dobbins. I'm definitely going to be taking him in dog bowls. I'm sure I'll end up with some of him, but I think if I had to pick between the two, I think it's Mason. All right. So what do we want to do? I don't think we need to do the Tucker Craft thing. I don't mind going Tet McMillan here and kind of skipping this Q tag wonky Olave zone. So let's do a Tet McMillan team. I'm not really afraid of Sauce Gardner. I'm not really sure that's a true thing to fear. So we'll do that. Olave's fine, but he's fine. Chicago's defense is not good. So if Olave's ever going to get home, maybe it's there. But yeah, I'm just not super enamored with that. All right, Buster's boy, he goes Vidal. I like Vidal a lot. I think if I needed a running back, that's who I'm taking in this second round. So I think that makes sense. Let's see if he snags another or what direction he goes. I'm curious. I mean, I could take Justin Fields. He's got to get drafted eventually. Fields and Brees are a little odd, but I don't hate it. if we play that game to kind of go off. I also like Worthy against Vegas. He's a little bit left for dead. All right. Let's make a Justin Fields team. I don't want to have I don't know where he's actually going to get drafted when this is all said and done. That ADP of 15 is fake, but he's not going to have Garrett Wilson. So we certainly could consider a Mason Taylor team. I don't think that would be the worst if we want to kind of pencil that in the last round. If that comes to us, we could do that. I think taking Josh Reynolds is like getting too fancy, like really fancy. Betting on the Jets offense is sketchy, but Carolina's defense is a little bit frisky. They're not as bad as some say. I don't know. I kind of go back and forth on that, but we're going to try to make a little bet on this one particular game and see where we go. The Gale asking if this week had a theme, what would you say it is? Week 4 was the rise of the rookie running back. I'm going to go tight end. I'm going to say it's tight end mania again. I think there's a lot of tight ends in really good spots, and I think you have some offenses willing to feature them. You've got Kraft in the tight end flow chart game. You've got McBride with a quarterback who can see over the line. You've got, Warren who, is getting rushing work every now and then. You got Travis Kelce with Rice back. Maybe now the field is more open and he can just lumber about. You've got Mason with no Wilson. You've got Dylan Gabriel locking on to Fannin. I don't know. I'm gonna say it's tight end week. DMH, is LMC a good play if McLaurin is out? You are Hartman. Okay, I thought that's who you were. It just the names are showing up weird for me. Luke McCaffrey for the uninitiated. It seems like it could be. It seems like good play depends, I think, on the format. I think it's too fancy in 6-person BRs. I think if you want to make a deep Dawg Bowl scroll, I don't know. To be honest, Hartman, I did not look at the snaps and routes run numbers yet from last night. I'm pretty sure Luke McCaffrey had a good game. I just don't know what his workload was. They have Jalen Lane, who is working in a little bit, but it seems like they might have iced him out. I know it's a little bit crowded, I feel like, at the back end of things. And also Noah Brown might be back. So I think there's a lot of unknowns. And I also I need to look at the snaps to really answer that with more of just a little less vibe. And this is a vibes based show, but I can't just windmill in an answer without doing a little more research. Yeah, theme of this week: overstacked mania, game stacks. Yeah, definitely could be game stacks. Mathology knows Luke only 33% snaps, 37 routes, 4% targets. Okay, thank you, Mathology. In that case, I would say probably not a good play. So thank you for that, because again, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure on the actual numbers, but I think that's a little thin. Sunday before the Kansas City game, after a few beers, I bought Week 14 Kansas City Thursday night football tickets. Oh, nice. That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, that'll be so much fun. I'm glad you're going to be able to go to that. I bought the Pico top of Ravens tickets. I went to the Ravens-Lions Monday Night Football game, and now Ravens tickets are you can get in for $25 because they're in trouble. They're in trouble. That Ravens-Rams game, it was tough to give tickets to friends, and I was there paying a lot for not the world's greatest seats for that. Mathology notes that Washington went heavy 12 last night. Okay. Yeah, I got to rewatch it. I did not get to see the whole thing, but that certainly tracks. I know when they have Bates was out for a few weeks, so it kind of mucked up what they like to do. So I'm curious to see how it all ends up shaking out for them. All right, we're coming up on the clock. Here. mean, I don't hate Wandale, but I don't know if I want to actually overstack that. We literally just did Shaheed. Like, I don't want my whole week to rely on Rashid Shaheed, but I do think I think he's objectively a good click. All right, let's do it again. We're going to go back to Shaheed. I hate that my week feels like it's going to be so dependent on Shaheed, but now we're going to queue up Mason Taylor. So we'll do a I just wish I had an answer I felt a little better about. I want to sprinkle in a lot of these guys. Like Judy versus the Dolphins seems potentially fun. The Dolphins secondary is one we want to pick on. You could go back to Jacoby Myers if you like getting, punched in the face. I took Io Manor in another one. I think he's live with Ridley out. I think that's kind of fun. Beyond that, yeah, Reynolds. I think Reynolds is the I want to show people I know ball. He's tough for me. I would rather just go Mason Taylor like our friend Buster's boy did. So this team ends up being Breece Hall, Cam Scatterbo, Ted McMillan, Justin Fields, Rashid Shaheed, and Mason Taylor. This team feels like it's either going to be super live to win or finish further to the left than Bernie Sanders on the chart, because this team could be terrible. I mean, two pieces of the Jets, overstacking the Jets is not for the faint of heart. So I like the team. I think it's fun in a portfolio, but we will see. Go AZ Cards. I'm hoping KC keeps rolling. Houston steps up. Yeah. Well, I maybe buy an extra set of tickets. Go AZ Cards, and then if it gets really good, just resell one to pay for the other. I mean, just roll them in. Mathology. Ertz got 26% targets. Yeah. He definitely came back from the game where he had. It's funny because the game he had 0 targets. I thought he was going to see a boost with Bates back, because Bates is such a good run blocker, blocking tight end. I thought maybe some of that was them not being able to use Ertz how they like to, and then they had everyone back and he went catchless. I was like, oh well, shows what I know. And then, like you said yesterday, Ertz 26% of targets. So to me, that's kind of what I would expect a little more than similar to last year. I mean, last year Ertz was earning quite a bit of targets. So Mythology, we see him take Ertz. Let's go over our friends and families teams. Let's check in on Buster's boys because we know he's good. He goes Jefferson, Rice, and then Vidal, Kraft, Love, and Romeo Dobbs. So he does another double stack here, but this time with Jordan Love, going Love, Kraft, and Dobbs. I mean, what can you say? When you can end the Dawg Bowl with a coherent stack, that's a really nice way, because then you have basically divided it in two. You're going for 3 high scoring players, and then you're creating a stack. It's a very nice, I don't want to say comfortable way to build, but it definitely can be a good guidepost for some team. I'm not saying do this every time, but when your teams look like this, they tend to at least feel like they're well constructed. And Mythology, he goes he goes Javonte Williams, Genty, Dak, Worthy, Ertz, and Addison. So he captures the touchdown equity in Dallas with the Dak and Javonte stack, brings it back with Ertz. I like all these guys. I like this team that you made here, Mythology. I think that makes sense. Another mini game stack with Worthy and Genty, and then Addison Addison is around 6-1 off is pretty nice there. So I like the team you went there. And then I suppose let's check in on Tubin's, another Dawg Bowl qualifier. Judkins, Ojunze, Mason, Caleb, Burden. Again, the week of the overstack. We got Ojunze, Caleb, and Burden. So another double stack there. Michael Mayer. I mean, Michael Mayer to me is a really good pick this week against Kansas City. Super involved last week for Vegas. I feel like Kansas City just gave up a big. We saw we saw Laporta kind of go a few weeks without doing much, and he got in the box against Kansas City. So, maybe a little bit of through lines there. Maybe a little bit of way to exploit Kansas City. Certainly think the game script is going to favor Michael Mayer out there. So I like the Michael Mayer pick from him. Go Easy Cards. I should have only bought 2 and there were 6 available, but spent a little for them. Section 134, row 5, seat 14 to 15. All right. Well, if I go to the game, I'm going to sneak up on you. No, I will let you know, of course, ahead of time if I'm going. About 8-yard line, 5 rows in the field, still 4. To gamble or not? I don't want to tell you to gamble on reselling tickets. They need. I got you. Go Easy Cards. I'm gonna hop in another BR. We'll do 1 or 2 more, and then I'll hop on out of here. But a really fun stream with y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It means a ton. It means a ton to have your support. Please like and subscribe if you can. So I might be the only person who lost money speculating on Taylor Swift tickets. This was a few years ago now. And they had 2 shows at MetLife. And the ticket window opened for the general public. I somehow defeated the bots. I got 4 tickets. I was so happy. The price immediately doubled. I was like, all right, I'm going to sell these. And then the next day, they announced a 3rd show. And it absolutely crushed my dreams. And I think I had to I actually think I ate a loss. So somehow my one, I'm not a ticket reseller. I only tried to do this once, but I was like, this is literally free money. Let me just log on and do it. And this was, Taylor Swift was huge, but this was not like today. This was probably 2015. So it wasn't quite the people mortgaging their house to go era. But yeah, man, they added a show. So short of the Chiefs adding a Friday night football game, which they probably won't. You're probably safe from that run out. Where is who to get my tickets verified? Well, hopefully we can get who Hames to the Dawg Bowl. That'd be pretty awesome. And we'll definitely have to figure something out. But I would love to go to the Thursday night game, but I gotta work out some childcare questions with the wife. Had to cashing in a lot of capital for this to begin with, and so do you mind watching him while I go watch football in this weekend where I'm gonna be watching football? It's getting thin. It's getting thin there in the spousal capital department, which is always a precious commodity when you're dragging your family across the country for fantasy football. All right, let's see. I don't think we got anyone in here. Okay, Go Easy Cards. I actually thought it was Sunday night, but you said Thursday night, and so I'm like, okay, I guess I was wrong. So, all right, so that would be post Dawg Bowl. Okay. Yeah, that was my recollection. But either way, primetime game, late night at Arrowhead should be pretty awesome. I've only went to one game there, and it was really fun, even though it was bitter cold. Coldest game in Dolphins history until their last playoff game with the Chiefs. It was I think it was 8 degrees, and it was windy. It was not pleasant sitting in the upper deck watching Ted Ginn Jr. All right, we got Jonathan Taylor here. Do we do the thing? I could just do. Let's just bank on this here. I know, again, we cowardly didn't take Lamb in the Dawg Bowl, but we're taking him here. It might just become really hard to get Taylor and Lamb if Lamb is in. So we will do it. Go Easy Cards notes: with the money you save on an open bar, I bought tickets with. Yes. Every drink you have is money you save. I'm sure that's the way Underdog wants it to be seen. But no, certainly nice to not have to outlay any capital for drinks during the week. So we got Taylor, Odunze, and Lamb. We see Daniels go at pick 11. Mahomes goes early, but not to the Rashee Rice drafter. We'll see if he ends up pairing him with Worthy or Kelsey, or just takes him unstacked. Be curious. This is a little earlier for Mahomes than I think I've seen in most of my BR travels this week, but we'll see what we can do. Do you want to win or do you want to min cash Lamb every time? Yeah, I think in the BR, again, the issue with the Dawg Bowl is I see a reason to take some of those running backs in the first round, even if Lamb is in. I don't know where he's going to go. If he ends up going up to pick 8, I still don't mind the way I played it. If he goes all the way to like pick 4 or 5, then I'll probably wish I had been taking him more, if that makes sense. I probably do want to get him in a couple Dawg Bowls before we know, because you will be able to get some combinations. But yeah, I certainly agree with that. I think this is one of those times where you just take the risk, knowing that you might be losing these drafts. But when you're playing a lot of these, I think it makes sense to kind of shoot the moon there. All right, let's just do Scatabo here, and no one took Fields. All right, let's do Scatabo Fields, and then we'll probably end this team with Mason Taylor. I think people who get to this point in the draft, 90, I'm just throwing a number. I don't think it's 90%, but it's high, that you're either going to take Caleb or you're going to take Dak. I think that is what the vast majority of people do. Those that don't, maybe they take Hurts or May. I think going down to Fields Mason is a way to take this not currently very unique combo and flipping it to unique. So let's do that. I think Mason Taylor is going to be pretty low owned in the 6-person BRs. So we'll pencil that in. I doubt anyone will take Mason Taylor. If they do, it's a little annoying because that's kind of the plan, but that's okay. These things happen, and we can be. Oh, we got Buster's boys. Buster boys. He's in here. He's everywhere. He is everywhere all at once. All right, let's try to predict what he does. He takes. I would not have predicted that. I'm not even gonna lie and tell you. Oh, I knew he was gonna take unstacked Dak. Very interesting to see unstacked Dak goes there. Got to think that's what JoJo Bear was doing. Maybe he'll take Herbert as his consolation prize. No, he just takes Drake May. All right, I love it. The unstacked meta is here. The unstacked meta is here, folks. I have been saying this for weeks, and I think we are truly seeing it, where we have one person stacking with Daniels. We got unstacked Mahomes. We got unstacked Dak, unless he does something really bizarre. And now we've got unstacked Drake May. And I think we're seeing this more and more in these battle royales. You say, let's do Scatabo here. You say it like it was a good pick versus being the number 1 Scatabo fan. I think it was a good pick. And it's great. I finally get to root for a good player. Go AZ Cards. I am an Arizona State fan and a Miami Dolphins fan. I never get to root for anything fun. Every time I root for a player, it's like I'm rooting for this god-awful player. I finally have something to cheer for. This feels weird. Maybe I'm overdoing it. The Gale, I triple swapped into top 20 last night. Drafting Q tags is growing. Yeah, hey, congratulations. That is awesome. It is definitely something that if you do it sharply, you can certainly smash. You certainly can. And I know in the masterclass, Pete goes over. Did I not click Mason Taylor? All right, yeah, he is so far in the depths of the 6 persons. People are simply, and he also had one reception for 2 yards. So maybe we got psyoped by Buster's boys, but I think this is kind of fun in a 6-person that people are just not going to do at all. Yeah, Pete goes over his one of his big BR caches from last year involved using that Q tag late, and they talk about the importance of Q tags and how to do it. So I definitely highly recommend the masterclass. I want to say they made the Q tag section free as kind of like a teaser. So certainly check that out. They did. John Nez Pete did an amazing job. I mean, I watched it and I won a seat to the Dawg Bowl. And so tons of credit to them. They really improved my process. This year. I think it is certainly worth them. And so I can't say enough good things about that. And they do a really good job. And it's a section I should re-listen to because they really spell out some of the intricacies of how to take advantage of the late swaps. All right. I don't know how many likes we're at. And you all know I'll always be like, oh, if we don't get 30 likes, I won't do another draft. But I don't really mean it because I'm going to do another. But if you can, please like this stream. And I'm going to hop into one final BR here. As soon as I update the time code, we will do that. And then we'll hop on out of here. This has been a really fun one with y'all. I think we drafted some good teams. And we're waiting for 5. So this can be a real friends and family draft. Go Easy Cards, an ASU and AZ Cards fan. My pain runs deep. I hear ya. It is tough. It is tough. The Dolphins haven't won a playoff game since 2000. So I think we're going on 25 years. ASU, heartbreaking loss in the college football playoff, but at least we got there. So I can't complain. Prior to that, I think the high water mark of ASU was almost beating the Trojans. And I say almost beating, like we didn't even win the game. Back with Reggie Bush and Lendale White, it has been not fun for my football fandom. The Gale naked QB is definitely a move because when May throws touchdowns to Booty and Douglas, I'll probably have neither. Yep. Me either. Oh, Fantasy Dog Pound with the eye. I see you in there at the 2. Oh, this is the true friends and family room. Love it. Hey, Ross, thanks so much for coming in, hanging out. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. Thanks for stopping by this morning. I hope you're having a good start to your day. Great. Not great. All right. So this is a true friends and family room. We got Go Easy Cards here at the 1. We got Fantasy Dog at the 2. We got the Gale at the 5. I feel like I've seen Gunnar Ross. I don't know if they're hanging out, but if they're here, let me know. And the Duke here. I don't know the Duke. But good morning to you, the Duke. I hope you're having a nice day. I hope you're ready to learn pain here in this extremely sharp room. ASU losing the national title game versus Ohio State. That was before my time. That was like a famous drive. I think was that the Jake Plummer Sun Devils? I know they had a big win against Michigan in the Rose Bowl, also before my time. But I forget the lore. But I'm pretty sure you're talking about the Rose Bowl in like 1997. That brutal, man, absolutely brutal. But then they blew up our whole conference, and so all those fun Rose Bowl things, and it's all gone. And now we're in the Big 12, which we play teams like West Virginia, who most of us ASU alum would be sweating looking at a blank map trying to point where West Virginia is. All right, we have Devon Achane, and we'll do the inverse. We'll take Pickens here. We've been taking Lamb. Let's take Pickens. I'll review everyone in the room's teams as we go, being that like we've got 3 friends and family here. It'll be hard for me to talk with chat, and draft a coherent team if I go over them as we go. But I'll keep the board up so people can see what's doing. We do see Daniels go at the 6. So again, I think there's going to be a wide range of Daniels outcomes. This particular room, he goes at this 1-2 turn spot. Hartman goes, if you miss Dak, then you should snipe the Ram to teach him a lesson. Absolutely. Yeah, the Duke. It's like this is gonna be like Point Break, and we're like the surfers who are being mean to Keanu. Was it Flea? It was one of the guys from Red Hot Chili Peppers was one of the surfers in Point. I will not miss an opportunity to make a shoehorn in a Point Break reference, by the way, in case anyone was wondering. All right, let's see what the Dog Pound does here. To me, it's Odunze and Javonte, and then the wheels kind of come off. So I am very appreciative he just took McBride there. Man, I don't think I want Javonte and Pickens is my problem. So let's go Odunze here. Maybe that's fine. It just feels a little tight in the 6 persons to do the overstack. Everyone thinks I'm going to take. I don't want to say the line and take Scatabo. So we'll see what we can come up with. Gunnar. Who are you? Gunnar Ross. Gunnar Ross takes Scatabo. Stream sniper. No, I don't know. I mean, word is out. Scatabo goes pick 18. Steven taught a guy who played for the Cards in the early 2000s, a defensive tackle. That's so cool. That is so cool. Were you a professor? I was wondering because let me make my pick. I don't want to only do push tight end, so let's do a Tyler Warren team. Let's get out of our comfort zone a hair. I had some classmates were in class with I believe it was Amare Stoudemire when he was with the Suns, was taking classes at ASU, and some of my friends had like group projects with him, which was pretty cool because while he was playing for Phoenix, I want to say it was Stoudemire, they had him. I was not one of those few, but some folks I knew. Oh, high school geometry. Oh, cool. That's awesome. That is cool to have somebody that, from your class ends up in the NFL like that. I grew up in Miami, so I had some, tangential friends of friends that knew some of the Miami Hurricanes players, but no direct connection like teaching any of them. So let's see what Fantasy Dog Pound goes with. He takes Drake May there. I'm a little surprised Breece Hall is still here. I was actually planning to just take Vidal. So let's just buy the Dipperino on Breece Hall. I was assuming this was going to be a Vidal team. No quarterbacks left, so we do unstacked Hurts? Sure. I think I'm going to make this a Daniel Jones team if he's going to be such a scroll. I'm happy to have that. Stack him with Tyler Warren. So this team's going to be Daniel Jones, Devon Achane, Breece Hall, George Pickens, Rome Odunze, and Tyler Warren. We'll get a little different from the Dak Pickens and from the Caleb Odunze teams that I think are going to be somewhat prevalent. So I'll make that pick, and then we'll go over the friends and family teams. So let's see what the Gale did. The Gale went Judkins, Lamb, Fergie, Dak, Swift, and Shaheed. All right, well, you're making me feel better about my Shaheed in the Dawg Bowl because I'm ending up with like a lot of him for lack of knowing what else to do around pick 50. I think he's also just as live in the six persons, especially because how flat this late tight end tier is. I mean, I'm fine taking him over Sutton and Ted. It's obviously a little uncomfy, but if Rashid Shaheed goes off, he's very likely to have, the Spike Shaheed game is probably outscoring what you're getting from these other guys, but he's also, live to score 4.5 fantasy points, but you're playing this to try to beat 50,000 people. So I like that click there. The Gale, let's see what Fantasy Dog Pound did. He went Jacobs, Rice, McBride, Williams, and then built a late May Diggs stack here. Yeah, this is a really good team. I think there's a big drop off after Jacobs there. So, if you turn the Jacobs team into something coherent, this is a nice drop on Javonte at pick 23. And then, of course, a May Diggs stack. Well-constructed team. Go AZ Cards with Taylor, Krosky, Merritt, and then Ladd, Kraft, Herbert, and McLaurin. I'm wondering if McLaurin will rise if he's in or if he's kind of going to hang out in this 5th, 6th round. I think most teams with McLaurin are going to have Daniels, so I kind of like what you did there, taking McLaurin on a non-Daniels team. I think that's going to break up what's going to be a fairly common way to do things. Building a bet on the Commanders themselves, going with Krosky, Merritt, and McLaurin there. All right, let me catch up. Retired teacher, also coached middle school basketball, the starting pitcher in the 84 All-Star. That's awesome, man. It is so cool. I have some one of my wife's family members was like a retired teacher and just taught for 30 years, and just this cross section of people that all became like cool stuff, and like that is so cool to just like get to meet so many people and then see like where they end up and have a few athletes in there. So that's awesome there. Well, no, we don't need to mention the ones where things didn't not go as well. But yeah, Marv concussion, expect a McBride rise when he's ruled out week 7. I think your finger is more on the pulse of people there, Fantasy Dog. You're probably right. I think I've been too sweaty just assuming everybody knows Marv is out, and you might be right. because it's so easy to say like, oh, the market priced that in, and then like the market's never priced it in. So you are probably right. We probably will get at least a couple spots of ADP rising in McBride there, and it does seem like he's better with Brissett. I taught that long too. good swap AZ. Yeah, worst case is you get to stay, as they say, stay on the clock. But it's a fantastic phrase. I think it is well used. I picked that up over from the Badge Bros, but that's truly what you're doing there with these Q tags. So you know what? We're gonna run one more. I said one more, but we're really gonna do this. Really is gonna be the last one, and then we'll get on out of here. It's been awesome. If you can, like and sub. We got room for one more in this room. Let me get the tag in. All right. But yeah, this has been such a fun stream. Appreciate hanging out. We got through 7 BRs. We got through 3 dog bowls. We ripped a ton of drafts. Had a lot of fun here. We got Fantasy Dog Pound. He got in at the 6. So no Josh Jacobs for you this draft. Let's see what you do. DBQ would have been better. DBQs are tough. Go easy cards. They are so tough. But I hear you. Hartman noting the market always priced everything in until it happens. Yep. And we saw this with BBM, like in real time. Like the league mandates a 3-game suspension for these like DUI things. Like there wasn't like it might be 6, it might be 4. There was some grumblings. Maybe it would only be 2, but I'm pretty sure that's like one of those things in the CBA. Like this has like been negotiated, and we knew Addison was going to be out for 3 games. And then they announced it, and he fell. It's like we knew he was going to be out. This is not news. This is an announcement of things we already knew, and the ADP mattered. So, it is nuts. Yeah, sweaty room. These morning drafts, Fantasy Dog Pound, are very, very sweaty. Like coming to a morning draft and looking for ADP value is generally like generally a fool's errand, because it is really tough to find value in some of these. But we're gonna try anyway. Let's see what Vikes, man. He takes the entire clock to then take Josh Jacobs at ADP. That's fine. We'll take A-Chain. Learn my lesson. I'm deciding if I want my like flaming hot take to be that if I was in a single bullet and only had one draft, I might actually prefer Judkins to A-Chain. I don't know if that's like too hot. I really like Judkins this week. I'm not just saying that to suck up to Fantasy Dog Pound. I actually didn't know if you'd get Judkins or not. Gosh, this Miami defense is bad. And you got to think Cleveland's going to lean on the running game and just absolutely torch Miami. But I'm going to be doing volume, so I don't want to like end up with no A-Chain. Like last week I was light on him, and that really was not fun. We'll flip it. We'll flip things a little. Let's do Javonte. It'll keep me from taking another Scatabo team. And I like Javonte as a bounce back this week against Washington here. Go AZ Cards noting with the tight ends not really separating this year and the slate having strong tight ends might not rise as much as we. Yeah, that's the counter. The tight end is so good this week. It is so good. Oh, I mean, I say it now. It could be awful. Like the Sunday could roll around and tight end scoring is down again. But at least it feels like there. I mean, we went through this before, but it feels like past Goddard, there's so many clickable guys: Fannin, Ertz, Waller, Henry. Even Ingram. I don't love that he's not getting 50% of snaps. That it's just so annoying. But Taysom, if you want to play the Taysom Hill game, Mason Taylor, Oronde Gadsden, sneaky click. I don't mind Oronde Gadsden. I'm going to have some of him in dog bowls. If you stuck around for 2 hours and 13 minutes, I'll tell you now, I'm going to be taking some Oronde Gadsden shares in DBQs. That is the reward for those of you who have been around. I think he's live to be a pretty sneaky click that no one's getting to late. I think he's kind of fun. I think he allows you a stacking partner with Herbert if you don't want to take him on. I think you can take Herbert unstacked. I think that's fine. I mean, we've learned you can take most QBs unstacked, but I think that is more than okay. All right, what do we want to do? Do you want Debo, Ladd, Sutton, Scroll? I'll take the Ladd share here. Yeah, Hartman. I made everyone wait. I made everyone wait 2 hours and 14 minutes for the one bit of useful information here. No, I think we've talked about a lot of useful stuff, but he is a guy that I think is somebody I'm going to sprinkle in late. Go AZ cards. Judkins to the moon this week. Took him over A-Chain and 2 DBQ so far. Yeah, I think it depending on how much volume. I guess even if you're taking down volume, you got to make your own exposures. I don't hate that. Yeah, I knew my 2 hours watch time would be rewarded. There you go. No, he's I think he's the tight end one now. I think he just like got the job. All right. Let's do. I'll do Tucker Kraft here. We're not going to do a scroll down tight end. Maybe we do. Maybe we'll do a scrolly receiver here. We certainly are live to get Herbert. Herbert generally is. I said Herbert's available. Did someone take him? Did I miss that? No, Herbert's still there. I just didn't see him. Oh yeah, he's there as the QB 7 or 8. So we got Kraft. Obviously, we could do another Love Kraft team. We could take Jalen Hurts. Maybe we do Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith. Like that's just one of those pairings that could go off that people are not taking. It doesn't get there often, but when it does, it's like really obvious. So let's take a Jalen Hurts team. I think we'll probably conclude with Devonta Smith on this team. If we don't get him, that's fine. But we lost out on like a Drake May dig stack. We can't pair Mahomes with Worthy, although I do really like Worthy this week. He doesn't seem like he's as sneaky as I thought he might be. I thought with the Rice team, he'd be going undrafted more than he is, but we've seen Worthy go in the majority of these. I still like him. I still think he's fine. But I think Hurts is generally going to be with A.J. Brown. If he's not with A.J. Brown, he'll probably be with Dallas Goedert. And if he's not with Goedert, then he'll be with Devonta Smith. So let's scroll. I think I scrolled too far. I should probably just type in Smith. It'd be faster. But all right, there he is. So this team will end up being with Devonta Smith. Fantasy Dog Pound. He gets Justin Fields with his last pick. Scatabo pick 30. Oh my god. Well, I'm glad good things are happening for our friend Fantasy Dog Pound there. All right, let's see. Steven says today's show could have been a mini series, but good show. I appreciate you. Love stack will punch at least one dog. But yeah, I like the love. I like the love stacks a lot this week. Jordan Love definitely. I think the hard part with him is who to stack him with. And again, not to be a broken record, you could probably take him unstacked, but the golden breakout game's got to get there eventually. Romeo Dobbs has just been consistent, and the Kraft flow chart is definitely in play. So our team ends up being A-Chain, Javonte, Lad McConkey, Tucker Kraft, and the only stack correlation we really have is at the end with Hurts and Devonta Smith. I think that's fine. Fantasy Dog Pound, he goes Judkins, Rice, Debo, Fergie, Cam, Scatabo, and then an unstacked Justin Fields. I like that. Fields going as like the free quarterback is kind of fun. He might get you 6 points, but he also might like win you a BR. But that's the kind of player you want to use because you're trying to win. If you're, it's very binary in these. These are very top heavy contests. Like there's no point in playing this to try to finish 1200th place. Like you're just slowly going to lose your money. Like you really have to play these to try to win. And I think Justin Fields is that kind of click there. Buster Boys, he does end his team with a May dig stack. So he builds a pretty, I don't want to say like paint by numbers team, but a very just like strong, solid team. Taylor, Dowdle, he takes McBride here at 13. Cortland Sutton, May digs, pretty much 100% owned. But what can you say? This is a nice combination of 6. Wouldn't be surprised to see teams like that towards the top of the leaderboard. Fantasy Dog is good finishing 1200th place. Yeah. Well, I guess I'd take it over last week where I just like bricked out on most of my teams. But everyone, I appreciate y'all so much. If you can, drop a like, drop a sub. We'll be back again 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. Same great time, same great channel. Y'all are the best. I appreciate you, and I will see you all soon. Take care.